Good morning, good afternoon, um, good evening for wherever you're watching me from. My name is still Mr. Braindeck from Braindeck Academia. You're welcome to my channel today. Before we go into our topic for today, please remember to subscribe, like, share our link, and don't forget to drop your question in the comment section. May God bless you. So let's go to our topic for today. So we are talking about factorization in algebra today. When you say factorization, what do we mean by factorization? Factorization just simply removing the highest common factor in an expression, in which I know that most of you are used to HCF by now. So when I say highest common factor, you know what I mean. So now let's jump straight to our question. Now, if you look at this question number one, we have AB squared plus A squared B. So now the question we need to ask ourselves, what is the highest common factor between AB squared plus A and A squared B? So now looking at this, the highest common factor between these two is we have A here, we have A squared here. So one of the highest common factor between A and A squared is A. One of the highest common factor between B squared and B is what? Is B. So if I'm to factorize AB out of AB squared, I am left with what? B. If I'm to factorize AB out of A squared B, I am left with what? Here, I'm left with what? A. And this is my answer. Now this is one way, this is a direct approach of doing it. There's another way of doing it. You can easily just do it like this, using your HCF form, whereby you write AB squared plus, or you don't need to put the plus sign, since you already know it's a plus that is there. Just plain it, AB squared, then you have your A squared B. Then you start factorizing one after the other. A is here, A is here. If I remove A from here, I'm left with B squared. A from here, I'm left with AB. Now there's no more A here, so I cannot factorize because they don't have anything in common. But there's B here, there's B here. If I remove B here, I'm left with what? I'm left with B. Here I'm left with A. Now then, when you get to a point whereby there is no more common factor between the two, then you multiply what you have at this side, which is AB, bracket what you have within the line B. The sign in the question is plus, then plus A. So whichever way you decide doing it is okay. But the direct method is much simpler and much faster, so that's why I prefer the direct method. Now for this one, we have A squared plus 4A, and we're asked to factorize this. Looking at this directly, we know that what is common here is A. A is actually common to the two, so I'll factorize A out. I'm factorizing A out. So A out of A squared, I'm just left with an A. Then plus A out of 4A, I'm left with what? 4, and that's my answer. Remember, you can use this other method also, but it just takes a longer time to get your answer. So that's how you factorize 2-term expression. Now for 3-term expression, looking at 3-term expression, the same way you factorize for 2-term expression is still the same way you factorize for 3-term expression, especially if it's not quadratic. Now in this case, if I look at this value, what is the common factor here? Let's first consider the numbers. We have 42, 49 and 21. The highest common factor between the numbers is 7. So I have 7. Do I have any common thing in the variable? There's no common thing in the variable, so my common factor for the terms is just 7. So 7 out of 42x, I'm left with what? I'm left with 6x, yes. 7 out of 49y, I'm left with 7y. 7 out of minus 21z, I'm left with minus 3z. Now another thing I failed to mention is that whenever you have gotten your answer, when after factorization, if you expand, I've taught you how to expand already by using the factor outside to multiply the factor within the bracket. If you expand this expression, you should be able to get back the question. If you do not get back the question, it means you have done the wrong thing. So let's continue. What is the highest common factor to these three things? It is actually 6. Yes, it is 6. So 6. Since there is no common factor between the variable, I just have 6 as the highest common factor. Then 6 out of 36, I have 6x. 6 out of 60y, I have minus 10y. 6 out of 96z, that should be 16, because yes, 16 times 6 is 96. Yes, 16z, and that is my answer. Drop a comment in the comment section and I'll surely attend to them. Thank you very much, and let's continue. Alright, so now we're dealing with a 4-term expression. Whenever you are factorizing a 4-term expression, the first thing you need to do is that you need to notice that when they are 4, you need to pair them. Pair them 2, 2. Meaning you factorize this pair separately and this pair separately. Now, factorizing this pair separately, I have, what is the highest common factor here? The highest common factor here is, within the number is 3. The x, the highest within the x is x, because I have x squared, x is x. Within the y is y. So if I factorize 3xy from 9x squared y, I'll be left with 3x, just 3x, because y will cancel y. Then if I factorize it from 21xy squared, I'll be left with 7y. Then I'll factorize the other one separately, as I said. The highest common factor between 6x and minus 14y, minus 6x and minus 14y is what? Minus 2. So I have minus 2. Minus 2 from minus 6x, I'm left with what? 3x. Minus 2 from minus 14, I'm left with what? Plus 7y. Now, if you now look at this expression, you will find out that the values you have within the brackets, within the factors within the bracket are equal. If you look at it, you find out that the factors, let me write this, you find out that the factors within this bracket are equal. If the factor within the bracket are different, you should know that you have done the wrong thing, especially when you are factorizing a what? A 4-term expression. So the factor here and the factor here must be what? The same thing. Once they are the same, it shows that you have done the right thing. So to write your final answer, you pick the factor that you factorize outside, which is 3x y minus the 2 in one bracket, and you pick any of the similar factor, 3x plus 7y, and that is your answer. If you expand these factors, you get this expression back. Please, if you have any question, drop a question in the comment section, as I said. Also, I need to mention this also, that there are times that you might actually need to rearrange the expression, because maybe the value it has close to it is you cannot easily factorize it with the other one, so you might need to rearrange it. It's just for you to shuffle it, then you can just factorize away. Okay, let's jump straight to this. So you have x cubed plus x squared minus x minus 1. Okay, looking at this one looks properly arranged. So let me I'm going to factorize this separately, because they are 4 term, and this separately. So what is the highest common factor here? Is x squared. Is x cubed is x squared. So the highest common there is actually x squared. Bracket x squared from x cubed, meaning x squared from x is just 1. Now the highest common factor between minus x and minus 1 is what? Is minus 1. It's just minus 1. That's the highest common factor between the two. So minus 1 from minus x is just x. Minus 1 from minus 1 is what? Plus 1. So can you see the factor I have here and here are similar? When the factor here and here are similar, you know you are correct. So pick the one outside first, which is x squared minus 1. Then bracket any of the similar one, and that is your answer. Remember, if you want to check that your answer is correct, just expand this. If it will give you back the question. If you get the question back, it shows you are correct. But if you do not get the question back, it shows that you are wrong. Let's move on. All right. The next question is still a 4-term expression. The same way I told you, you factorize them separately. So I have the highest common factor here is x squared. X squared from x cubed is x. X squared from 3x squared is plus 3. The highest common factor between these two is 5 plus 5. From 5x is x, then from 15 is 3. Now you can see what I have here and what I have here is similar. Pick the ones outside first, x squared plus 5. Then any of the similar one, x plus 1, 3. And that is your answer. Remember, if you have any question, don't forget to drop your question in the comment section, and I will attend to them as I see them. God bless. Let's move on. Now, whenever you see an expression like this, x squared minus 11 squared, this is regarded as a difference of 2 squared. There's a rule that is used to solve this. Whenever you have an expression a squared, let me write it like this. This is the rule you need to know. Whenever you have anything that looks like a squared minus b squared, you need to know that whenever you have something like this, it factorized to become a minus b bracket a plus b. This is the rule, the identity you need to put in your mind. A squared minus b squared is the same thing as bracket a minus b bracket a plus b. If you multiply this, it will give you this. So whenever you see anything similar to this in any question, you solve it using this pattern. Now look at this. This looks like this. So since this looks like this, that means I have to expand it to look like this. So if I have this now, this to write now, we'll say that this a is this x, then this b, or better still, this a square is this x square, and this b square is this what? 11 square. So if this a square is the x square and the b square is 11 square, that means that the a will be what? X. So I write x the b will be 11 minus 11. Same thing for this side, ax plus b 11, and that is your answer. It's as simple as that. If you multiply this together, it will give you this. The same thing. Now look at this one also. The same rule we use here is what we use here, because this is also a difference of 2 square. But looking at this terms here have a coefficient, and this coefficient are perfect square. So the only thing I need to do is to find the square root of these values. The square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 25 is what? 5. So for this side I have a minus b. It will be 4 the square root of x, which is x. The square root of x squared, which is x. Then minus the b here will be what? 5y. Then for this side, they repeat it, but instead of minus to be plus, 4x plus 5y. That is your answer. So meaning that whenever it has a coefficient that is a perfect square, just find the root of those values, and that will just be 4x minus 5y, then 4x plus 5y. You expand this, you have this back. Remember, if you have any question, please don't forget to drop a question in the comment section. Now look at this one. This one looks a bit tricky. Now the first thing you need to look at this one. This one has a power of 4. The first thing you need to do is to change it to make it look like this rule. Make it look like this rule that we have here. Let me change this to color blue. Make it look like this rule we have here. This rule we have here. So that's the first thing you need to do. Let's look like this rule we have here. So how do I make it look like that rule? First thing you need to do is to change this 64 to an exponent, right? So that will be 8 to an exponent raised to the power of 2. So that is 8 raised to the power 2. Then this x raised to the power 4 can also be written as x raised to the power 2 bracket power 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So this is the same thing as this. So I just want it to look like a difference of 2 square. Then this one will be 6 square. Then x x raised to the power 2 bracket 2. Now that it looks like a difference of 2 square, well, now it doesn't really look like a difference of 2 square yet, but how do we make it look? Since this is a power of a square, this one has a power of 2, this one has a power of 2, I can also go as further to write this as 8x squared all squared, because there's a rule in indices that say whenever you have similar power between two terms that are together, you can just bring the power out within a bracket, because this power will affect this 8 separately and this x squared separately like this. Then this one too will become minus 6x raised to the power 2 squared. Then at this point now, I can now use my difference of 2 square. I can simply use my difference of 2 square here. Now, because you can see that this now look like the difference of 2 square, because it's now squared. So the first one will be what? The first one will be 8. It will be 8 or 6. It will be 8x squared, right? Minus 6x squared. Then bracket 8x squared plus 6x squared. And that is your answer. If you expand this, you get this question back. If you expand this, you get this question back. That will be 8x squared minus 6x squared, bracket 8x squared plus 6x squared. Remember, if you have any question, please drop your question in the comment section and I will attend to them. Okay, so that's that about that. Now, the next one I want to discuss about is sum and difference of a cube. Sum and difference of a cube. Because in this case, and this one is not raised to the power of 2. This is not even raised to the power of 4, that I can easily change to an index value of square. But this one is raised to the power of 3. So this is a cube. So this is the sum of a cube. There is the sum of a cube, and there is also the difference of a cube. So this is the sum of a cube. This one you have here is the sum of a cube. So now there's a rule that you use when it is a sum, and there's a rule that you use when it is the what? When it is the difference of a cube. So now let's do that. When it is the sum and when it is the difference, that's what I want to give you now. The rule you make use of is if you have a cube plus b cube is the same thing as a plus b bracket a square minus ab plus what? B square close bracket. But this is for the sum of a cube. But if it's the difference of a cube, a cube minus b cube, it will be a minus b bracket a square plus ab plus b square. So this is the rule or the identity you use to factorize anything that looks in this format. This is the rule or the identity you use to factorize anything that has or that have that specific format. Now let's factorize this now. Using that format, of course, we know that this a will represent, now this is plus, so this is actually difference. So this is sum. This is difference, this is sum. So this a will represent this 27p square cube. Then this b will represent this what? Q cube. So I can rewrite this as, this can be 3 raised to the power of 3, right? So the cube root of 27 is 3. So I can write this as 3, then 3p, right? Then plus q, which represent this a plus b, then bracket a is what? A is what? 3p. So I can have, but remember that it's a square, so that will be 3 times 3 is 9, so that will be 9p squared. Do you get that? Because one of this a will be, root of 27 is 3, that's why this place is 3. Then one of p in p cube is p. So this one is a square, so this if this is a square will now be what? 9p squared. Then minus then ab, this is a and b, so that will be 3p cube, which is ab, this is a, this is b, so 3 minus 3p cube, then plus b is what? Q square. And that's how you factorize that. So once you remember this identity, factorize sum of 2 cube. Please, if you have any question, don't forget to drop your question in the comment section and I'll attend to them. Alright, yeah, so we're now into question 12. Question 12 is 40u cube minus 625u cube. So looking at the coefficient of this u cube and this y cube and this y cube, you will discover that this 40 is not a what? A perfect cube root, and this is 225 also, you can't get a perfect cube root. This one is not a perfect cube root. So what we can do here is that we can factorize the highest common factor, which is, we can do 5 out. Yes, 5 out. Here I'm left with 8u cube minus 125y cube. So now I can easily factorize now, because this is a perfect, this one is different, difference of 2 cube, and it's similar to this guy here. So this place represent my a, this place represent my what? My b. So for my a, you know this is a cube and here is a. For this to, if this is a cube, for it to just be a, it will be, this will not be 5. 1a meaning just one of it will be one of, so 8, this cube root of 8 is what? Is 2. The cube root of u cube is what? Is u. So that's my a here is 2u. Same thing as the cube root of 125 is what? Is 5. And cube root of this is y. So this represent my what? My b. So this is my a and this is my b. Then bracket, my a square will now be, square of this will be 4u square, then plus my ab is 8 and 2 times, remember ab will be 2 times 5, because this is 2, this is 5, 2 times 5 is what? 10. Then we have uy, because ab is just simply means a times b. So if this is a and this is b, so that will be 2 times 5, which is 10. Then we have uy, then plus b, which is what? B square is what? That's 25y square, because b square will be 5 square y square, and that is this, and that's my answer. Please, if you have any question, don't forget to drop your question in the comment section and I'll attend to them. All right, thank you. Don't forget to also subscribe to our channel. So that's that about that. So if you have any question, please don't forget to drop your question in the comment section and I will attend to them. Okay, so this is your question, this is your classwork. So you can pause your video, for like maybe 5 minutes to attempt this, then you play it to get the answer. Please don't cheat. Don't cheat. Oh, this question number 5 is not correct. Let me just correct this question number 5. This question probably, yeah, let's call it, that should actually be, let's use 27. Yes. Yeah, that's just 27. Okay, so it's fixed, so you can solve now. Yeah. Okay, I believe by now that you should be done. All right, so these are the answers to those questions. So you can go through your answers and what I have here. If they're similar, so it means you did them well. And if you have any question, please don't forget to drop a question in the comment section. I will attend to them. And also watch out for our next video. God bless you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you. God bless. See you later.